Okay, today we are talking about writing and graphing equations. And we need to know that an equation is a mathematical sentence that shows that two expressions are equivalent. The equation that we are going to be using today is the slope-intercept form that we used yesterday. Just to remind you, we have y equals mx plus b. M was our slope, or our constant rate of change. And then our B was the y-intercept, or in today's case, it's going to be called the initial value. All right, so if we take a look at this example, it says Anthony runs a bicycle courier company that charges $3 per delivery plus 50 cents per mile. Write an equation that describes the linear relationship. Well, no matter what, we know that we are charging a $3 fee. So in this case, the B is the initial value. It's the $3. And we're charging 50 cents per mile. The constant rate of change is 50 cents. So we need to write an equation in the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So if we are going to do that, we replace the m with the constant rate of change. The constant rate of change is 0.5 or 50 cents times x times the amount of miles plus the $3 delivery charge. That's the first example. All right, let's go to the next one. It says write an equation to describe the linear relationship. The temperature of a pot of water is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature increases by 20 degrees Fahrenheit per minute when being heated. So we need to know what the constant rate of change is, what the initial value is, and what the equation is. Well, 20 degrees Fahrenheit per minute is the constant rate of change. It's constantly going up by 20 over 1, up by 20 over 1. The pot of water has an initial value of 45. So if we write an equation in the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, it is y equals 20x plus 45. So the next one, a bamboo reed is planted when it is 12 centimeters tall. It grows 2.2 centimeters per week. So we need the constant rate of change. So we need an m, we need a b, and we need a y. The constant rate of change is 2.2 centimeters per week. The initial value is 12. If we are going to write an equation, it's y equals 2.2x plus 12. All right, so let's look down at the bottom. At the bottom, it has the equation, it has the graph, and it has the table. If you remember what we did yesterday with the table, the change in y over the change in x. The change was -2 over +1, which is -2. The y-intercept, or when x is 0, is 3. That is how they get the equation y equals negative 2x plus 3. Here, we start at the point farthest to the left, and then we are going to go down 2 over 1. My pen's not small enough to do that, but you can see that the slope, or the y-intercept, is 3. So you go up 3 in between 2 and 4. All right, go ahead and flip to the back side. On the back side, it has example 2. It says Charlie starts with $350 in a savings account. He withdraws $15 per week from his account. Represent the relationship using a table, an equation, and a graph. The constant rate of change is $15 per week, but since it has the vocabulary word withdraw, that's negative 15. B is the initial value. We start with 350. So if I'm going to write the equation y equals mx plus b, it could be negative 15x plus 350. Or another way to write this is 350 minus 15x. It is the same thing, it's just these two are reversed. Now, whenever we did this on Friday, we took and we plugged and we chugged. So when we did this, we had our ordered pairs. When you say 15 times 0, you get 0. And then 0 plus 350 is 350. So they plot the ordered pair 0, 350. Then, and that's all right here also, negative 15 times 1 is negative 15. So then you do 350 minus 15. When you subtract, you get 5. You get 335. Then negative 15 times 2 is negative 30. 350 minus 30 will get you 320, and so on. So that's how we go from situation to an equation to a table and to a graph. All right, let's look at the last one. On the last one, it says a bicycle rental company charges $18 to rent a bicycle, plus $7 for every 2 hours. So $7 for every 2 hours. Now, the bad thing about this is it is 7 over 2. The constant rate of change is 7 over 2. Well, that's improper, so I need to typo it out. Goes in there 3 times. Decimal, decimal, annex a 0. Goes in there 5 times. So the constant rate of change is actually 3.5. The B is 18. So if I'm going to write an equation, it needs to be y equals 3.5x plus 18. So now we're going to plug in chug for the, in the equation you can rewrite it right here too. 3.5x plus 18. All right, so now on the bottom, 3.5 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 18 is 18. All right, then we have to do 3.5 times 2 plus 18. So 3.5 times 2 will get 10, 7. So you have to do 18 plus 7. I get 25. All right, then we have to do 3.5 times 4 plus 18. So 3.5 times 4, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. So 14 plus 18, we're going to get 32. Then we have to do 3.5 times 6 plus 18. So 3.5 times 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 21. So 21 plus 18, I get 39. All right, then the last one, I need to do 3.5 times 8 plus 18. So 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. So 28 plus 18, I get 46. All right, the last thing is to plot the ordered pairs. So 0, 18 would be like right about here. And then 2, 25, that would be in between here. And 4, 32. Oops. Starting to make dot